Our world, this extraordinary planet, is a place of infinite wonder and profound mystery. I speak not of the fleeting puzzles of our daily lives, like the curious case of a missing sock or the shifting sands of politics. No, I refer to the great, enduring enigmas of our existence. These are the questions that echo through the halls of science, the whispers that keep scholars and dreamers alike awake through the long, dark hours of the night. It is a humbling, and perhaps even comforting, realization that despite our vast accumulation of knowledge, we do not possess all the answers. There remains, thankfully, a wilderness of the unknown, a frontier for speculation and awe. Some mysteries are so profoundly strange, they seem to push against the very fabric of our understanding. They defy our logic and challenge what we believe to be possible. Consider an ancient manuscript, its pages filled with illustrations of fantastical plants that have never grown on Earth, written in a script that has resisted every attempt at translation. Picture colossal drawings etched into the desert floor, so vast they can only be truly appreciated from the sky. Think of the chilling tales of ships and aircraft vanishing without a trace in certain stretches of our immense oceans. These are humanity's oldest, coldest cases, and the investigation is open to us all. The answers may be tantalizingly close, or they may remain forever beyond our grasp. And so, we embark on a journey together. A journey into the heart of the inexplicable. We will travel from the silent, crushing depths of the Pacific to the remote, frozen forests of Siberia. We will stand before ancient, monolithic stones and gaze upon the pages of a book that no one can read. So if you wish, prepare your mind for the unusual, for phenomena that resist simple explanation. Our exploration of 10 of our world's most captivating unsolved mysteries begins now. In the quiet, hallowed halls of Yale University's library rests a book unlike any other. It is known as the Voynich Manuscript, a codex carbon-dated to the early 15th century. Its pages are filled with elegant, flowing script, an alphabet that appears nowhere else on Earth. For over a century, the world's most brilliant cryptographers, linguists, and codebreakers have tried to unlock its secrets, and every single one has failed. The language remains an utter mystery, a silent testament to an unknown author's guarded knowledge. Is it a complex cipher, a lost language, or an elaborate, meaningless hoax? The effort involved suggests something far more profound. What truly deepens the enigma are the illustrations that accompany the text. Here we see a botanical world that is utterly alien. Plants with impossible root systems, leaves of fantastical shapes, and flowers of a kind that have never bloomed under our sun. There are charts of celestial bodies that bear no resemblance to our known cosmos, and drawings of naked figures bathing in intricate plumbing systems, their purpose entirely obscure. It is a window into another world, or perhaps into a mind of singular and baffling imagination. A story that, for now, refuses to be told. There is a stretch of the North Atlantic Ocean, loosely bound by Bermuda, Florida, and Puerto Rico, that has earned a sinister reputation. It is known as the Bermuda Triangle, or sometimes the Devil's Triangle. For centuries, this region has been the setting for a disproportionate number of strange and inexplicable disappearances. Countless ships, from naval vessels to private yachts, have sailed into its waters, never to be seen again. Aircraft, both military and civilian, have flown into its skies and vanished from radar, often without so much as a distress call. The pattern is chillingly consistent. They enter, and then there is only silence. Theories abound, from the scientific to the fantastical. Some propose rogue waves of immense size, or sudden violent releases of methane gas from the ocean floor that could swallow a ship whole. Others point to extreme and unpredictable weather phenomena unique to the area. And then there are the more imaginative speculations, magnetic anomalies that disrupt compasses and navigation systems, gateways to other dimensions, or even extraterrestrial intervention. Whatever the cause, the fact remains that this particular patch of our planet's ocean seems to hold a dark and enduring secret, a graveyard of vessels whose final moments remain lost to the depths. In the summer of 1997, deep in the South Pacific Ocean, an array of hydrophones, underwater microphones placed thousands of miles apart to monitor submarine activity, detected a sound. It was not the familiar call of a whale, or the groan of shifting tectonic plates. This was something else entirely. It was a powerful, ultra-low frequency sound, which scientists nicknamed the bloop. It was extraordinarily loud, detected by sensors over 5,000 kilometers apart. It was, in fact, several times louder than the call of the blue whale, the largest and loudest animal on Earth. For years, the origin of the bloop was a complete mystery. The sound profile did not match any known man-made or geological event. Its characteristics were most similar to those of a living creature. But what creature could possibly produce a vocalization of such immense power? The speculation was wild and wonderful, conjuring images of a colossal, undiscovered leviathan lurking in the abyssal depths. Though the official explanation now points to the sound of a large ice quake from a cracking glacier in Antarctica, the sheer biological-sounding nature of the bloop continues to fuel the imagination. It remains a haunting reminder of how little we truly know about the secrets hidden in the vast, dark wilderness of our oceans. On the Salisbury Plain in southern England stands one of the world's most iconic and perplexing structures, Stonehenge. These are not mere rocks. They are colossal stones, some weighing over 25 tons, which were transported from quarries over 200 kilometers away. They were shaped and then erected in a precise circular arrangement, a feat of engineering that would be challenging even today. This monumental effort was undertaken by a Neolithic people over 5,000 years ago, a society that left behind no written records to explain their extraordinary creation. Why did they build it? The question has echoed through the ages. Was it a temple for ancient druidic rituals, a place of healing, or a royal burial ground? The alignment of the stones with the solstices suggests it was a sophisticated astronomical observatory, a calendar built on a grand scale to mark the passing of the seasons. Yet its full purpose remains elusive. Standing amongst these silent weathered giants, one feels a powerful connection to a distant past. They are sentinels of a lost world, guarding a secret that their creators took with them to their graves, leaving us to wonder at their skill, their devotion, and their ultimate motive. In the arid coastal plain of Peru, etched into the desert floor, lies a gallery of ancient and enormous artworks known as the Nazca Lines. These are geoglyphs, designs formed by removing the reddish-brown iron oxide-coated pebbles to reveal the lighter-colored ground beneath. There are hundreds of them, ranging from simple geometric lines and shapes to complex and stylized depictions of animals: a hummingbird, a spider, a monkey, a lizard. These figures are immense, some stretching for hundreds of meters, so large that their true form can only be recognized from high in the air. This, of course, presents the central mystery. They were created by the Nazca culture between 500 BC and 500 AD, a people who, as far as we know, had no means of flight. For whom were these magnificent drawings intended? Were they offerings to sky gods, a celestial calendar marking constellations, or perhaps ritual pathways for ancient ceremonies on the ground? The preservation of these lines over 2 millennia is a marvel in itself, thanks to the region's dry, windless climate. But their purpose, the message they were meant to convey to the heavens, remains one of archaeology's most profound and visually stunning puzzles. On the morning of June 30th, 1908, a cataclysmic event occurred over a remote, sparsely populated forest in Siberia. A colossal explosion, estimated to be 1,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima, detonated in the sky. The blast flattened over 2,000 square kilometers of taiga forest, knocking down some 80 million trees in a radial pattern. The shockwave was felt hundreds of kilometers away, and for several nights following the event, the sky over Asia and Europe glowed with an eerie light, so bright that people could read newspapers outdoors at midnight. Yet, when the first expedition finally reached the remote site more than a decade later, they found something bewildering. There was no impact crater. The trees were felled outwards from a central point, but the ground itself was not broken. This ruled out the most obvious culprit, a large meteorite striking the Earth. The leading theory today is that a small asteroid or comet entered the atmosphere and exploded several kilometers above the ground. But with no fragments ever recovered, absolute proof is lacking. Other, more exotic theories have been proposed, from a natural gas explosion to an experiment with unknown technology. The Tunguska event remains the largest impact event in recorded history, a scar on the landscape with a mystery at its heart. In the deep, dark, peat-stained waters of Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands, a creature of legend is said to reside. Nessie, as she is affectionately known, is most often described as a large animal with a long neck and, one or more humps protruding from the water. The modern legend was born in 1933, but tales of a water beast in the area actually go back to the 6th century. Since then, thousands of alleged sightings, grainy photographs, and ambiguous sonar readings have kept the story alive, capturing the imagination of the world. Despite the enduring folklore, the scientific community remains, deeply skeptical. Numerous extensive searches of the loch using everything from submarine fleets to sophisticated sonar equipment have found no conclusive evidence of a large, unknown animal. Many of the most famous pieces of evidence, including the surgeon's photograph of 1934, have since been exposed as hoaxes. Yet the mystery endures. Could a creature like a plesiosaur, a marine reptile thought to have died out with the dinosaurs, have survived here in isolation? Or is Nessie simply a product of wishful thinking, misidentified logs, and the power of myth? For now, the monster of Loch Ness remains hidden, if she exists at all, within the murky depths of her home. In February of 1959, a group of 9 experienced ski hikers, all students from the Ural Polytechnical Institute, set out on an expedition in the northern Ural Mountains of Russia. They never returned. When a search party eventually found their campsite on the slopes of a mountain named Kolatsyakal, which translates from the local Mansi language as Dead Mountain, they discovered a scene of baffling terror. The hikers' tent had been cut open from the inside, and their belongings and shoes were left behind. Trails of footprints in the snow showed they had fled, some barefoot, into the sub-zero wilderness. The bodies were found over the following weeks and months, scattered in different locations. Some had died of hypothermia, which was strange given their experience, but others had suffered horrific and inexplicable injuries. Fractured skulls, crushed ribs, and in one case, a missing tongue. There were no signs of a struggle with another person, and investigators found traces of high levels of radiation on some of their clothing. The official verdict was that they died from a compelling natural force. But what force could compel seasoned hikers to abandon their shelter in a blizzard and inflict such violent internal trauma? The case remains one of Russia's most chilling and unsolved mysteries. Not far from the famous Nazca lines, another, perhaps even more mysterious geoglyph is carved into a sandy hillside overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Known as the Paracas Candelabra, this enormous figure, stretching nearly 200 meters in height, resembles a 3-branched candlestick. It is etched into the hardened sand with such precision that it can be seen from as far as 20 kilometers out at sea. Pottery found nearby dates the creation of this massive symbol to around 200 BC, meaning it predates the Nazca figures by several centuries. Unlike the Nazca lines, its creators, the Paracas culture, are even more of a mystery. And its purpose is equally obscure. It is clearly not a candelabra, as candles were unknown in the Americas at that time. Some speculate it represents a trident, perhaps a symbol for the Inca creator god Viracocha. Others suggest it was a navigational aid for sailors, a giant signpost on the coast. Another intriguing theory links it to the hallucinogenic Jimson weed plant, which has a similarly shaped stalk. Whatever its original meaning, the candelabra stands as a solitary, magnificent beacon, its message lost to the winds of time. On one of the most remote inhabited islands on Earth, Rapa Nui, or Easter Island, stand hundreds of monumental statues known as moai. Carved from volcanic tuff, these monolithic human figures have oversized heads, heavy brows, and enigmatic expressions. They are giants, the average one standing 4 meters tall and weighing 14 tons, with the largest reaching over 21 meters. For centuries, they have stood silent vigil, their backs to the sea, watching over the land and its people. But how they were created, and more importantly, how they were moved, has been a source of intense debate. The island's oral traditions speak of the moai walking to their final destinations, a claim that seems impossible. Yet, recent experiments have shown that with ropes and a dedicated team, it is possible to rock a statue forward in an upright position, mimicking a walking motion. This could explain their transportation from the quarry where they were carved to the ceremonial platforms, or ahu, where they were erected. But why did the ancient Rapa Nui people devote such immense resources to this monumental task? And what caused their civilization to collapse, leaving many moai unfinished in the quarry? The stone giants keep their secrets well, a powerful legacy of a lost culture's ingenuity and ambition. And there we have it, 10 windows into a world that is still brimming with secrets. From books written in impenetrable languages to explosions that leave no trace, it is abundantly clear that we have not mapped every corner of our reality. And perhaps that is the true beauty of it all. These profound mysteries do more than just baffle us. They ignite our imagination. They challenge us to think beyond the comfortable and the obvious. And in doing so, they connect us to the endless curiosity of the generations who came before us, who also gazed at the stars and the stones and asked, why? These are not simply unsolved cases. They are open invitations to be astonished by the world we inhabit. The search for answers is a continuous human endeavor. All over the globe, scientists, archaeologists, historians, and dedicated amateur sleuths continue to dig, to study, to explore, and to dream. Who knows what tomorrow may bring? Perhaps the key to the Voynich Manuscript will be discovered in a forgotten archive. Perhaps a submersible will finally find a long-lost wreck in the Bermuda Triangle. Or perhaps, just perhaps, someone on the shores of Loch Ness will finally get that perfectly clear photograph. Until that day comes, we can revel in the speculation, the theories, and the sheer wonder of the unknown. Our world is, without a doubt, a more fascinating and exciting place with a few grand question marks remaining. If you want to continue this journey into the mysterious and be the first to know when one of these enigmas is finally solved, please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss a thing. Let us know in the comments which mystery captivates you the most, or if there's a great puzzle we didn't mention. Thank you for watching, stay curious, and we'll see you next time.